I am your host, Sherry Ricard, and you are listening to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. Each week, join me for powerful messages and conversations that will leave you feeling inspired and ready to let your own light shine. Now, let's get started. Welcome back to Real Girl Talk. I'm your host, Sherry. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate my audience. And I want to talk to you guys about better together in a community of friends. And that's exactly what it is. You know, the older that I get and the more experiences, whether it be victories or struggles, the more I understand how important relationships really are. How important it is to be in a community of friends and family with one another, the way God intended us to be. You know, I can see now how God has placed me in certain situations and circumstances in certain times. Sometimes we forget about the moment and we're not thinking about the moment because we don't understand how great the moment actually is. And I can look back and see now how God put family and friends in my life that not only have helped me, but hold me accountable and sharpen me to be a better person. So they've helped me weather the storms of life. And I believe that's what God has intended for all of us. And that's to live a life together with one another and helping each other. You know, God intended for us to have families and to build a community of people around us. When He created Adam, He stood back and He said, it's not good for Adam to be alone. And He created Eve. So what He was actually doing, He was putting in the hearts of every one of us that community and family and love is what is important. Because He said, Adam and Eve, I want you to go and I want you to multiply and increase, grow your family. And I can truly say today that I am where I am today, not because I made all the great decisions in life or the perfect choices, but it's because I had people in my life that loved me, that challenged me, and motivated me. And I know that you're probably thinking right now, that's the same for you. So even if I didn't actually want to hear what everyone was telling me at some point in my life through struggles and adversities, I still listened. And those seeds were still planted. And you have to do the same for others. I've had really good people in my life, and we need to have those people around us because we weren't intended to live this life isolated at all. God intended for us to be a support and a strength for one another, to motivate each other. And that's the healthy way to live. And the Bible says 2 people are better than 1. And they help us, each other, to become successful. We help each other. If one person falls, then the other person can help the other person up. You don't always have to be the strength for everyone around you. And, you know, sometimes I think that's the way I was supposed to be, you know, with the middle child syndrome that I have and the control freak, I'll admit it and put it out there, the control freak that I have in me. I did, and I have and do have people that depend on me to make the smallest decisions sometimes because I've enabled them to need me and to hear me. But you don't always have to be that person. There's going to come a time in your life where you are going to need someone else. If you're going to live in an abundant, successful life, the people in your life that are like-minded are very important. And they are worth developing a strong relationship with. So relationships are two-way streets, though. So let's talk about that. It's important to give, but we have to get back. It's like a bank account. If you're constantly putting into the bank account, that bank account is growing and growing and growing, and you have someone on the other end that's taking out deposits and deposits and deposits, and metaphorically, that's in our life, eventually that account that you pour into is going to be empty if someone is constantly draining from the other end. So you have to have an equal partnership of people, whether it be your spouse or a friendship or a family member. Both of you have to pour into the account of life and relationship. One person can't do the draining and the other person do the pouring because eventually you'll run on negative. And that's just life. So relationships are two-way streets. It's important to give and important to get back. The Bible says to encourage one another daily. It doesn't say wait around and be encouraged. It's an exchange of support in one another in order for us to live a happy, healthy, successful life. Did you know when you speak encouragement into someone else, what you're literally doing is breathing God's light and love into them? Because it's pouring out of you into them. And as a result of you breathing God's light into them, you in turn are breathing light into your own soul. We can't live on an island by ourselves, although sometimes I know that that might sound a little bit easier to be alone because sometimes the people around us can be annoying, they can be aggravating, they can be troublesome, and just give us a headache. But that's okay. If you are the right person in the right group and God has put you there, then you have the potential with that group. You may find yourself at times around people that just can't get it together and you're constantly trying to pour into them. And sometimes that's okay because you can be there for them. Don't let them drain you, but pour into them as God has you pour into them. You'll know when enough is enough. You can tell that someone else is going to be there for you. The longer that you pour into someone, you're always going to have someone else that's going to pour into you. God's going to make sure of that. We have to be our happiest and healthiest when we are loving one another. And actually, we are at our healthiest and our happiest when we're being helpful. There was actually a study done on happiness. And what it said was, and I know what you may think that it said, you may say, oh, we're on vacation or we're on the beach or we're receiving gifts or when we have a bank account that's full or we're in just a loving, tight relationship. This is when we are our happiest. When in actuality, the study showed that when we're pouring into someone else and we're being helpful and we're living our purpose and our purpose is tied into helping them, then that's when we are at our what they call a helpful high. And I don't know about you guys, but a helpful high is what I strive for. First of all, it's legal. It's the best high you can get. It doesn't leave you with a hangover, and it's just as high of a euphoric feeling as anything else, only we're doing God's work. So, what are some of the ways that you can pour into others? I'm going to give you a few examples on how you can pour into someone that is struggling through some type of adversity. And let's just say that adversity is grief. And it might not necessarily be the loss of a loved one by death, it could be the loss of a loved one in a broken relationship, and a broken friendship, or a broken marriage. So, how can you pour into that person? First of all, something really simple. How about just send them a note? How about just take the time out of your schedule to make a quick call? Hey, how are you doing? What can I do for you? Is there anything that I can do for you? Think about the person that you're talking to. Does that person have the ability to bring their kids to school every day? Maybe that's an issue for them. Maybe you could just mow their grass or pick up their kids and take them on a play date or cook for them. Maybe cooking is a struggle for them because they're grieving and they can't get out of bed and they have children and you can bring over dinner. It's just the little things sometimes. How about give them business advice? Where are you in your success and your business and your career? And maybe someone needs that and you have all of this knowledge and you can pour that into someone else and help pick them up and bring them to the next level. No one should have to build their dream and their life abundantly alone, and that includes you. So, what can you do to surround yourself with like minded people if you're in a situation of lull or you're in a situation of stagnant and stoic right now? Join a conversation. Just join in a conversation. I saw someone the other day on Instagram and she's hilarious. I love to watch her, but she has suffered for the last few years with a divorce. Her husband left her for someone else and she pours her soul out on her Instagram stories, hoping that it will help someone else, which, I think is extremely brave because we're in no position, any of us, to be judgmental of anyone else, right? So, one thing that she said is that she would isolate herself in her house, and she had lived in this neighborhood for 15 years. She didn't want to really socialize because she didn't want people asking questions and judging what she felt was so relevant in the neighborhood. And she admitted the other day on Instagram that she just wasn't that relevant and that she needed to just join the conversation. So she talked about going out into her neighborhood. They were having a big block party, and she just joined the block party. She just came out of hiding, came out of her isolation, and just faced the questions and joined the block party and mended with her neighbors that she had known for many years and just was free. She was free. She was free of any judgment. She was free of isolating herself. And sometimes that's what we need to do. We need to just get back in the game no matter what's going on in our life. Sometimes we just have to get back out there, and you may not know that someone is suffering, but everyone suffers. We all suffer over something. Maybe it's a job loss. Maybe that's it, or a broken relationship, or you're just not feeling like you're just going anywhere in life, and you just don't know the next level in your business. So just step out and join a conversation. The second thing you can do is join a group. Join a group or some type of networking event that's in some type of interest of yours. I throw an event every year called Create Your Life, a vision board workshop in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Come join us. This year it's going to be in either November or December. I haven't set a date, but I will within the next couple of weeks. And the women come together and we do vision boards and we talk about affirmations and we cut out images and we create these images and we design the future and the life that we want. And these women become friends and they're like-minded and they share examples and they share ambitions and excitement. And it's just so uplifting. You can find one in your own neighborhood. You could be listening right now from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. I have listeners from different countries, and there's an event that you can join. Just get on Google. Google's a great thing. I use it every day. I don't believe that you can get to a next level of anything without surrounding yourself with people that are in next level circles. So if you want to surround yourself with next level mentorships, get online, find that. This is number 3, listen to Purpose Filled Podcast. Now, of course, I think my podcast is uplifting and inspirational, and I hope it is for you. And it probably is, or you wouldn't be joining me every week. But there are podcasts out there that are constantly talking about what they're selling and what they're doing. And that's okay, because at some point I'm going to have advertisers in my podcast. And that's so I can keep going for you people. But I really want you to listen to podcasts that do not spend the entire time talking about how they can sell you something. You want to listen to podcasts on what can motivate you, what can inspire you, what can uplift you, what can bring you to that next level, what can show you direction around the next people. Because this is the thing, if you have a podcast host like myself that really, really stays on that helpful high, then those people want to pour into you. Those people really are genuine and 100% transparent on what they're doing in their life and why it's important to them. And I think you guys know that about me. Sign up for some inspirational events. There's a lot of inspirational events. I know there's a podcast coming up with Kayla Craft. Go and follow her, Mommy Millionaire. She's going to have a business, next level business just for women in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's an event she puts on every year, and it's this fall. Go and look for that. There's a lot of different events. Like I said, I put on an event. There's other events out there. There's some mentors that I look up online as well, and I follow them in their blogs. I follow them on their shows, and I take away a lot of good information. Another thing that you can do is you can go on YouTube. You can look at free webinars if there's something in particular that you're looking for because you want to surround yourself with like-minded people. Facebook groups. that are really genuine and inspirational, that are in your purpose, are a great way to reach out and have one-on-one internet conversations that can lead to telephone conversations, that can lead to what I call virtual coffee dates, although I'm not a coffee drinker, where you can get on a Zoom call or a Skype call and just really connect and learn from one another and grow. It's super important that you do this and that you don't stay isolated on this island by yourself, because that is just not how God intended us. So I know my message today is really, really short, but I just wanted to pour some inspiration. I've been away from the mic for a couple of weeks on vacation and dealing with a few of my own family adversities that are healing and mending. And to be transparent, this is what I do. So when I go into a situation and I feel that I should share and I should heal someone else, know that I am looking for my helpful high. Because when I am helping someone grow and reach a new level, I am at my healthiest and my happiest. And I want you guys to do that for someone else. It's super important. And before we jump off, I want to read you guys the review of the week. I started doing this because I'm getting so many cool reviews and I just love highlighting you. This one is from, she calls herself Mother Zucker on um, on the review, but I know who this is. Her name is CJ Zucker, and she's from California. She is an amazing woman, and she says, I mean, if you ever need or someone needs a real girl talk, this is it. You found the place. Love this podcast. Thank you, CJ. I love you, and I'm glad I could highlight you and your review on the show. And guys, please jump back over to the podcast on iTunes or anywhere that you're listening to Real Girl Talk. Leave me a review. It's really, really important in the ratings so I can reach more and more people like you and help you guys grow in whichever avenue of life that you need, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, physically, or financially. I have people on my show that can bring you to the next level, and I want to just keep growing and going for you guys. So make sure you leave a review. I want to be able to highlight you and your review on an upcoming episode. And remember to take a screenshot of this show and tag me, Empowerment is Beauty, on your Instagram story and make a little comment about today. And just let me know if it helped you and how it helped you. And share that with your family and friends. And just let me know if there's anything that in particular that you guys want to listen to, or a particular guest. I have some amazing, amazing guests coming up. I have TV producers. I have Tara from the Real TV series Dirty John. It's the real daughter. She's coming up next week. I have Mommy Millionaire the following week. And there are so many shows that I have lined up in August, just bringing you guys the best that I possibly can. So before we leave, remember, guys, be a light for someone today, because in your time of need, you want to make sure that someone is there for you. The people in your community, your friends and family that you keep surrounded will be there to help pull you through. And you guys have a blessed day.